Welcome to Medica Wellness Studio. I'm Angelika Maria Koch with the educational videos about optimal health and the most innovative and holistic approach to your well-being. Today in our Discover series, Healthy Family and Soul Medicine, I want to share with you how you can heal the symptom of impetigo, which commonly affects our infants and children with the most top natural remedies and indicated therapeutic tools. To stay updated with my ongoing videos, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel and share and like it with your friends and families. But first, let's have a look what impetigo is really about. Well, it is a highly contagious bacterial infection, commonly affects again our infants and children, but I've seen it in adults too, and here it's more of a sign of a weakened immune system and therefore they're more susceptible to it. The usual signs, it starts with a tiny red blisters which ends up in this cluster of honey gold crusts and lesion, usually around the mouth and the nose area. It can spread to the trunk, on the feet and the hand as well. And it can be painful and it's itchy. Impetigo is classified as the non-invasive group of A strep illness. So it's a bacterial infection. There are usually three groups. One is called the non-bullous impetigo, which means the crusted impetigo. Then we have the bullous impetigo, which is more related to the vesicles, like little blobs filled with liquid. And the third one, it's the most serious condition called ecthyma. It sounds like eczema, but ecthyma, probably pronounce it wrong, but it's the one which you see more pus and ulceration. Again, the non-bullous impetigo, the crusted impetigo, is the one you see more among our infants and children. And it typically starts on the face in clusters of tiny red blisters, and as they begin to burst, the skin weeps sort of a fluid that develops into this gold honey-colored crust. The bullous impetigo is less common, and here we see more the vesicles. It's a little blob filled with liquid. And before it starts erupting, the liquid usually turns cloudy, so that gives it away. And you can see it on the trunk, on the neck area more on the body rather than on the face. Ecthyma, as said, is more the serious condition where we have more a discharge of pus, ulceration, and therefore also more scarring involved. In this video, I want to really focus on the simple impetigo, the one which we see more among our infants and children. The sign and symptoms, well, it starts with this tiny red blister and cluster then appear in this honey gold looking crust spreading around the mouth and the nose area. And while typically not painful, it can be very itchy, and that's also the primary reason why the infection spreads, because the children start scratching and pulling the crust away, and therefore the liquid starts spreading around the body. In non-bullous impetigo, the crusted impetigo, as well as the eczema, you can see often swelling of the lymph glands around in the neck area. And the bullous impetigo, the one with the vesicles, often you can see a head cold with it, or a fever, even just a feeling of malaise, even nausea. So there are other symptoms accompanied with it as well. Well, after all, the body is fighting a bacterial infection. So what are the causes? Well, as I mentioned before, it's a bacterial infection. So streptococcus and staphylococcus are the main triggers here. And these bacteria can easily enter through just tiny little wounds. Can be an insect bite, it can be a scratch, or after the child has a cold and there is maybe an acrid nasal discharge irritating the top lip, that can be just the reason for it, and then the impetigo starts. This is why also impetigo is often seen around the nose and the mouth area after you experienced a cold. In order to effectively guard against this, I really have to say, educate your children when they suffer from impetigo not to touch it. I know it's so easy, it's itchy and you want to scratch it, but that's the reason why it spreads. Educate your children to wash their hand as often as possible. Usually it happens between 2 to 5 years old. And because it's highly contagious, daycare centers and schools, of course, are most affected. Now, a warm, humid climate is also a perfect, foundation for impetigo to spread, as well as, of course, contact sports. Martial art, wrestling, or where you have this skin rubbing against each other. That's just not so good here as well. Usually if you go to a physician, you get over-the-counter antibiotic creams in order to stop the spreading of the infections, which can be helpful, but we don't want to suppress it, right? We want to really heal it from inside out. People who have diabetes maybe, I would say they're more prone to it as well. So what are the top natural treatments here? Well, I would say first, grapefruit seed extract. Fantastic. It's indicated for any fungal infection, candida, and it really kills the staph bacteria as well as MRSA. Mix it up with some lukewarm water, get a cotton ball and dab it onto the lesions. If you're an adult, you can take it internally as well. Here I also would like to say boost your diet, immune boosting diet, bring in more ginger. Added fresh ginger to your food, and even with the kids you can have this kid-friendly drink like orange, carrot, apple and ginger. Tastes quite nice, but they get a boost of the ginger. Apple cider vinegar, I would say yes. Mix it up with some lukewarm water, put a cotton ball in it and dab it onto the lesion. It really helps to change the acidity on the pH here. It's really nice. Turmeric is a must, as well as golden seal. These are fantastic herb to boost your immune system and to heal the lesions as well. Again, turmeric is antibacterial and it hits the staph infection. Here I would say take a teaspoon of turmeric and about a tablespoon of coconut oil, mix it into a paste and dab it onto the lesion. Now, you want to have a sort of stick bandage over it because turmeric can stain your clothes very easily, but it's very helpful. Coconut oil, wonderful, because the lauric acid in coconut oil makes the skin inhospitable to certain pathogens and therefore the bacteria. So really when you put it on a lotion, it creates this invisible barrier that can ward off the bacteria. Of course you can take it internally too, but just to make sure that you're not spreading the bacteria, why not put a little coconut oil on the lesions, so you make sure that your child doesn't spread it around too much. You can also combine it with some tea tree oil. Put a few drops on it, really nicely. It sort of heals the lesion quite easily. Manuka hana, please, I always forget about it, but Manuka hana is fantastic in terms of healing lesions of any kinds of shape. Golden seal, yes, wonderful. Again, get some powder, maybe a quarter or a half a teaspoon, mix it up with some lukewarm water, dab it onto the wound. It really helps to remove the crusts caused by the weeping of the blisters. It's a really nice, you can take it internally too, because it boosts your immune system as well as it heals the lesion. Whatever you can get hold of in your local health food store, try to incorporate it into the treatment plan now. Of course, I mentioned tea tree oil, and here I want to give it an extra little minute. Wonderful. It really is indicated for psoriasis, any fungal infection, eczema, as well as specifically for ringworm. Now, in a small study published in the Journal of Hospital Infection, researchers have found that 5% of tea tree oil extract was as effective as prescription antibiotic treatments in treating MRSA as well as streptococcus. So tea tree oil is really helpful here. Now, I know, because I share with you in a minute homeopathic remedies, the classical guideline of homeopathy says definitely never put homeopathy and tea tree oil in any shape or form together. Well, this is an exception, right? I feel the homeopathic remedies will work even if you put tea tree oil onto your crusted lesions. It will work. Don't be too rigid about it. The main thing is wash your hands. So when you have tea tree oil on your hands, don't bring it in contact with homeopathic remedies right away. So 3 tips to prevent the impetigo spread. First of all, I want you to cut the nails of your children quite short. Please ask them to wash their hands on a regular basis, and bringing more of an immune boosting diet. It is really helpful here. So let's go into the homeopathic remedies. They're very helpful here because they will speed up the healing process from the very interior of the body. Homeopathic remedies you can get hold of in your local health food store. As I said here, I want to focus in this video on the most common ones, nothing too complicated. In fact, if you choose to have more constitutional homeopathic treatments with your children with a professional homeopath, then it's not just about healing the lesion, but also creating a prevention that the lesions don't appear in the near future. The first remedy in mind is called Hon Timonium Croton, or Ant Crute, it's for short. You get the potency 30, and this is the remedy when you see this thick, heavy yellow crusts, burning eruptions, usually around the face and specifically on the corner of the mouth. It's sort of the classic, place where the impetigo starts. Often for chronic cases, worse from bathing, the parts better in open air, the itching is less when they are outdoors, and often there are cracks with it on the corners of the mouth. And the sores are this honey-colored crust, so typical of impetigo. I would say Hon Timonium Croton 30, 1 tablet daily for, I would say, 3 to 5 tablets. That's it. Step away, and if you need more help, contact me at help@medicanova.net. With babies, I would say Hon Timonium Croton 6. There's a number behind the name, that's the potency. Go a little bit lower. But children 5 years old, I would do a potency 30. The next remedy in line is called Seneca Album 30. And here we have more a dry, scaly skin, almost dirty looking, sort of shriveled skin. And here you see the popular eruption. Now, what is a popular? It's a blob. It's elevated, circumscribed lesion. It's like a little pimple, but it's solid. It doesn't have a liquid inside. That's a popular eruption. And here again, the eruptions are, the itching is better if you put some heat on it, a warm washcloth. But there can be severe burning, there can be even swelling of the affected parts, definitely the itching. So if you see that, rather than just the crust, think about a Seneca Album. As mentioned before, the remedies work best if you can find or match your specific keynote expression of your impetigo with the indicated remedy. then you have the magic happening. Seneca Self 30 is a wonderful remedy here when it's, you see more the vesicles here. That's the bullous impetigo, where you have the vesicles and the liquid is there, and the skin is very sensitive and you touch it and it's very, very painful. Seneca Self is a wonderful remedy here. It can even go into ulceration, so the ulcers can be very sensitive to contact, burning, stinging, there can be even bleeding involved. Often you see these scabs, we call them humid scabs, and pustule upon the head area, and here of course you have the cervical glands. The lymph glands are quite swollen. Another remedy which I would like to mention here is called Mercurius solubilis or Merck Soul 30. Here the impetigo again has this yellowish scabs, and it's around the face and the mouth, but often it's on the scalp as well. And it even can sort of really sort of destroy the hair follicles. It's quite strong, really destruction of the scalp skin. And you have this constantly sort of moist discharge coming out. Mercurius is a good remedy too. There are other remedies. Miserium is one, Graphitis is one, but we want to keep it simple. I would say Hon Timonium Croton is definitely the first remedy in mind here. Now, if you have an impetigo which is really itching, crazy, makes your child, you can't calm it down anymore, think about a remedy called Viola Tricolor 30. You maybe not get that at the health food store, you maybe have to get it online. But here the eruptions are caused because it's intolerable itching. It can be on the face, hands, but also on the knees of the children. It's a usual, not the usual spot really, but this remedy, Viola Tricolor, really works when you have impetigo around the knees of the children. Scabs on the face with burning and itching, of course, and the blisters can discharge even pus. So that's a good one for the more serious condition of impetigo. Again, you have cracks on the skin, and it's not just the normal crusted one. Here are two protocols which I like to share with you. If you have a baby, an infant, a smaller child, start taking Hon Timonium Croton 6, 3 times a day, and every other day you give Seneca Self 30. And you do this for a week and then step back. Maybe not need it for a week. Remember, with homeopathic remedies, as soon as there's improvement sets in, you stop. Don't go further, right? Now, if you have done that and helped a little bit, but it's not really finished, and particularly if they're older children, like 5, 10 years old, maybe think about the second protocol. It's called Hon Timonium Croton 30. You give 1 tablet in the morning and a Seneca Album 30 in the evening, especially if you see sort of more of a shriveled skin, dry skin, all over the body, burning sensation involved. Think about that as well. I would say for a week. With both protocols, you want to add some homeopathic biochemic cell salts. The cell salts are called cell salts in America, in the UK, they're called tissue salts. I think the manufacturers here, it's Highland, and in the UK, it's more New Era. You want to get Kali sulfuricum and Natrum sulfuricum. So you give maybe 4 tablets Kali sulfuricum or Kali Self in the morning, and Nat Self or Natrum sulfuricum 4 tablets in the evening, along with all the other remedies and the external applications. Fantastic protocol, really helps well. So these are super effective protocols which really bring relief in no time. And also, if you follow these protocols, not only you will heal the lesions, but also you will prevent more impetigo attacks to occur in the near future, because the healing is really from the inside out. Let me know how you get on, and leave your comments below. And if you have any questions or you're in doubt, contact me at health@medicanova.net. And don't forget to have a look at my website, medicanova.net, at the online academy, where you will find fantastic home study online courses in first aid, homeopathy and quantum healing. And if you're interested in a personal health consultation, either for yourself or your children, you can contact me at health@medicanova.net. So till next time, much love. Take care.